everybody? It's your man Magic here, and on a slight collaboration, I guess we can call it.
I mean, if you want to, bro.
I guess because I'm technically on both. This video will actually be shown on both of Magic's Corner and Nerds of Combat. So just be on the lookout for both of those. We are officially under 2 weeks away from She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. And I guess what better way to do a series of how would I run She-Hulk? Now, of course, She-Hulk comes. Actually, She-Hulk is interesting because she was first going to come out in the very, very old Hulk movie of the 70s. And Marvel tried to make sure that they saved their own asses. Pretty much got the rights to it and make sure that they're able to use the name. Now, of course, we all are familiar with the She-Hulk story, or at least you should be for those of you that don't. She, of course, was an attorney at law, I believe, in LA.
Yes, LA.
LA, and she was doing a big case, and she got shot at.
And the mob.
Yeah, the mob shot at her. And of course, she needed a blood transfusion, and the only person that was a match was her cousin Bruce. Well, Bruce, of course, as we know, is the Incredible Hulk. So, then she, gets into a rage and things of that nature. Now, out of the entire Hulk mythos, and the reason why this is not going to be a Hulk How Would I Run series is because the only person that I like other than in the Hulk mythos other than She-Hulk is Red She-Hulk, which of course is Betty Ross. And
because, man, that was a crazier reveal than Thunderbolt, honestly.
Yeah, or Harpy for those of you comic originals.
Exactly. And now I don't even know what to call. Do we call her Red Harpy, Red She-Hulk, Harpy? It's confusing after Immortal Hulk.
We'll go with Red Harpy. We'll go. But this is mainly about She-Hulk today and how would I run her. Now, of course, she is before Deadpool, so don't be trying to say that, oh yeah, Deadpool is the king of the fourth wall. No. She-Hulk
that didn't even become a thing with his character until much later on.
Exactly. So She-Hulk was doing it first. She-Hulk was actually very, very great at it.
Yeah. Like even worked it into her comic covers and everything. It was hilarious at the time period.
If you read my comics or I destroy your X-Men comics. Oh God.
Jokes.
Yeah. That's the thing that I liked more so of well, of course, as we do on here, we go over the history of the character, what the character is currently doing, and how we progress with the character moving forward. So with the history of the character, of course, we know she is the queen of the fourth wall. A lot of her stories in the early times was her just getting control of it, just getting control of the rage and things of that nature. And it's almost kind of been her consistency throughout, no matter if she's been on the Fantastic Four and things of that nature.
She was actually one of the only Hulks I could really think of at the time period that had like complete control of her transformations.
Yeah,
at a certain time.
Yeah, she was. She was completely in control and actually preferred the Hulk transformation over her Jennifer Walters, which of course that is her name. Jennifer Walters persona, because of the simple fact of when she was She-Hulk, she had more confidence. She was built like a
brick house.
Yeah. So all the confidence came and everything like that. And She-Hulk is one of the first comic book characters that made people like, do I really like green women?
I think Star Trek started a trend and now the comics have made it worse.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's just like, so but that was mainly her main thing of just balancing the two personas. She's been on the course on the Fantastic Four, Agents of Smash, and she's done all these things. My favorite, of course, of hers is when she was a part of the Magistrate. When she was
Mm-hmm.
picked by the Living Tribunal himself to
Yep.
deal with court cases across
Mm-hmm.
the entire universe, and
Yep.
showcasing her lawyer skills. Um, and now that brings up to where we are currently, because She-Hulk was canceled for a while and was really only shown in Hulk books and bits and pieces
Yeah.
here, because for a while comic book publishers didn't know how to sell women.
Mm-hmm. Because at the time period, I believe it was during the whole Civil War II situation where she had a radical change with her character because of the whole fight with Thanos. She ends up
Yeah,
turning gray and losing more control of her anger and stuff. And she just started getting back to where she was.
back in the back in the 80s. Like
Yeah.
they
Like they literally did all this stuff to change her character just to end up right back where you kind of started a couple years ago.
it's just like okay. So currently She-Hulk has her own run, which started earlier this year in 2022. After her Avengers run, to where she got the power, like a celestial's powers were imbued in her, and it caused her to over gamma, in which she didn't know how to control it and things of that nature. And the whole Avengers run was her trying to gain control of that celestial power. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
it goes away by pretty much towards the Avengers run is still going on, but I want to say by Avengers 55. It's between
Mm-hmm.
with World War She-Hulk
Yeah,
is
because the
when
whole she was in the red room, they were mind controlling her,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah. So yeah, they tried to
That was so weird.
yeah, that's currently in continuity. They and this is not the problem just with She-Hulk, but it is a major
Mm-hmm.
problem with She-Hulk, because and she was also a bit of controversy too with this whole being redrawn, because it almost just seemed like, especially when they did the Phoenix tournament in Avengers 42 to 46,
Yeah.
um where they pretty much, like, when she got powers of the Phoenix Force, she literally turned into a combined version of not Andrew, what's his name, Cho, Amadeus.
Amadeus Cho. Mm-hmm.
There we go. Amadeus Cho and the Hulk mixed together. Like, and it was just like there was no female features whatsoever. And people,
Exactly.
yes, because it's just like you just pretty much just like almost just tried to make her a gender swap Hulk. Like she was one of the few examples where it was just like you are gender swapping, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not even close to being what she originally
Yep.
was in the 80s. But that was a part of the whole feminist Me Too thing, but we're not gonna get into
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
that. But She-Hulk for a while in comic continuity, ever since I would say this past decade, has not really found a footing anywhere. But hopefully, like I said, in this current comics run that they're doing, her and Tatiana are now becoming cool,
Mhm.
which I
If
enjoy.
anything, if you do want to have an interest in the character, I do highly recommend the new She-Hulk run. It's actually pretty interesting for the character, bringing her back to form, even bringing back some older characters that were like MIA for how long,
Yeah,
just
like
out of nowhere. I still am never going to be able to get over that guy coming back.
yeah. We won't spoil it for you.
Of
Um,
course.
but yeah, it's because he that person was dead for
Yeah, a
I want to
long
say a
time, like
decade and
early
a half.
2000s.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, a decade and a half, almost 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, them coming back was a surprise. Her and Tatiana, or Tatiana,
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
Yeah, the fact that they're friends was surprising too. But they've been trying to work her character into more stuff ever since, like the whole, you know, I think it was the Hulk Farine comics when you saw more of her and Creel back
Oh yeah.
together doing their thing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, no, I got you. So yeah, currently continuity, like I said, there it's pretty much a start over button. And I think they did this comic simply because the show was coming out, which don't get me wrong, I feel like it's a backhanded compliment, but I appreciate it because She-Hulk once again is one of my favorite theme. Fun fact, She-Hulk was actually my favorite character before Wonder Woman. So I enjoy because, like I said, I enjoyed one. I always enjoy personal, I guess. One, I always enjoy strong, confident women, and two, She-Hulk was strong and confident and very beautiful, and it's just like it was just like it was automatic draw, and she was doing the fourth wall jokes. And she was making fun of the X. It was like a whole bunch of stuff. So I was just like,
yeah,
okay.
she hit all the check boxes and then just kept going.
Yeah. So yeah, She-Hulk, Wonder Woman, then Harley Quinn, and go from there. And then Captain Marvel after Harley Quinn. But like, there's plenty.
Monica Rambeau all day for this, bro.
True. You are a huge spectrum fan, and we'll get to how we would handle her later on down the line. But now that we've talked about current comic continuity and how she's been involved in controversies and getting back right, of course, how we handle her in the future is we go through, of course, a few things: how we handle her in the comics, how we handle her live action, animated, and video games. So, all right, admin Impass, how we handle her in the comics?
To be honest, I'm still holding out on that because the current comic run for her actually is really working for me. I love where she's at personality wise, her conflict with trying to get back to where she was and actually working, taking care of herself, helping out others, even finding out new revelations about a bunch of other characters and stuff. So it was like, this is what I wanted for the character for a long time. And I thought we were going to get some of that in her solo one where she was gray and they were going to eventually bring her back because you even had her in some parts talking to herself and really trying to work with her personality to get herself back under control. But then they just like, fuck all that. We're going to keep it moving. So as far as that goes, I think the comics are safe for now for her.
Yeah. I actually would agree with you on that. I'm actually really enjoying the new comics run. They actually, I am really glad when they actually decided to be like, okay, let's actually try to take care of this character. Now my ultimate,
show we like her.
Exactly. Now my ultimate goal for her in the comics is to go back to being the magistrate, a part of the
that
magistrate.
Would be nice.
That is my because
that really would be cool.
Now the thing is, it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of times where you say Magic wants to send all these characters to space. It's not so much that I want to send them to space. It's more so of the fact of there's so many things that we haven't, like you could literally take Jennifer Walters' attorney at law and branch it to so much stuff. Like it doesn't even have to be simple court cases or things of that nature. The fate of a planet could be at stake. She could be talking to Galactus about why you shouldn't eat this planet.
Exactly. A negotiator.
Yeah.
Like
a negotiator. That's her. That's like her and Captain Marvel. Those should be those two. Captain Marvel should be an ambassador and a negotiator, and She-Hulk should be the attorney and a negotiator. And of course, an ambassador and attorney are two different things. So don't try to say that I'm trying to put them in the same role. I'm not.
Exactly.
But yeah, like that's my ultimate goal for She-Hulk. Ultimate goal is to be, before it gets to the Living Tribunal, like let's just say, for example, for those of you that of course read the Infinity Gauntlet, let's just say we get a revamp of that or a remix of that to where you got this character with the Infinity Gauntlet. And before the Living Tribunal comes in, you have She-Hulk, Daredevil, and I forget another big lawyer. Another big, let's just say have another big lawyer, like it's She-Hulk, Daredevil, and this third person, right? And they come in and they are the people that stop that person from the Infinity Gauntlet, just like the Living Tribunal said. Like you have no power here, and it goes away. Like that would be a cool scene to see, for me at least. So once again, I agree with everything about an Impass said about the comics, but my ultimate goal for her would be to have her become part of the magistrate. Now, the main reason why the main reason why we're even having this discussion right now is because on August, I think it's either 17th or 22nd, one of the two. I believe it's the 17th. August 17th is the She-Hulk live action show. Now I don't know, like of course we've seen the trailers, the blood transfusing, Hulk doing yoga, and there's a whole bunch of people upset about Hulk in this whole thing. But
which they really need to take up with Universal, but that's a whole other thing.
Exactly. Like, and thank you for that. I was gonna say, like, look, you gotta take that up with Universal. Like there's nothing that anybody can do with that. Like until Universal says, yeah, our first refusal rights, you just go ahead and have the Hulk. We're not gonna get a solo Hulk movie. We're not gonna get World Hulk. We're not gonna get none of this stuff. The only way that you're gonna see the Hulk is in the background as a secondary character. That's it. I'm sorry. So with that being said, how would you want the live action She-Hulk to go?
Okay, where would I start? Well, with her character already being introduced, I would want them to dive into more or less how she's reacting to being hulked out and stuff. Like it's gotta be a staggering process to go through, especially with this new character we're being introduced to. Because you go from chilling, I can't get angry or I lose my shit. So diving into that, having her more or less trying to come to terms with that, and at one point working that into the whole, well, she's already a lawyer, she's already established, we already got pretty much all of that already handed out. It's just more or less getting to know the character. Like I want them to focus on developing her and her personality, the charm, the confidence, the everything that comes with the whole adapting to her powers and stuff, which is why I liked in the trailer we saw her training with Bruce, because they did kind of make him like this Zen kind of person now with his Hulk and everything. So I do kind of like that she's going to be training with him to get hers under control. But at the same time, I'm also concerned that they might try to really sideline a lot of Bruce's development and stuff going forward because of it.
Well, that's once again up to Universal. That's the thing. It's just like there's nothing that we can do about it, and it sucks because for those of you that don't know, the comic dynamic of what you've seen in the trailers is actually the reverse.
The absolute reverse.
In the comics, it is She-Hulk that is trying to get Bruce to, be with confidence within himself and accept the Hulk and things of that nature. And the Hulk and Bruce always have this back and forth in their brain and always have this anger, which is why Hulk has like 8 different personalities.
Oh God, it's more than that if you want to go really dive into it, but that's a whole other jar of worms that goes nowhere.
Yeah. So how would I handle She-Hulk? I mean, like you said, it's more so become like the thing about it is just like she already had self-confidence issues. So as Jennifer Walters. So now, as you said, as the Hulk, as a She-Hulk, how do that should be amplified even more. Like when she becomes She-Hulk, she is this ultimate confident, sexy person. But as Jennifer Walters, she is meek and mousy and things of that nature. And you should see, and I hate that there are only 6 episodes because that means you have to cram this stuff in.
Exactly, and that's
In
the
six,
biggest issue. Like they're literally just making a 6 episode movie, basically.
yeah, and it's just like, bro, you trying to fast track this in, and it's just like
Mhm.
this should. I'm not saying like it should be. I'm not saying it should be WandaVision where it's like 9 episodes, but you
Yeah,
should.
but at least have more so we get to grow an attachment. Like that was the whole thing. Like
Or
everybody
make them
fronts on
longer.
one. Yeah, like everybody fronts on WandaVision when it comes to it, but I give them credit where credit is due. They actually make you care about Wanda's situation, what she's going through, and how it happens afterwards, to the point that they lost their shit when Multiverse of Madness came out.
And not only that, the twist that the twist that Agatha did it in episode 7
Mm-hmm.
is where it made it watching and paying attention to everything made that twist so much more like
Exactly. Just good storytelling. If they apply an eighth of care for that character with her own series and everything with She-Hulk, I guarantee you enough people will get to like her, get to know her, and push that character forward.
exactly. So yeah, live action wise, yeah, I hope that the dynamic is played since we can't do it with the Hulk movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do it with the 2008 Hulk movie. Um,
Exactly.
you only got bits and piece of it. Like the way that Mark Ruffalo explained it was that pretty much from Avengers on to Endgame, anytime
Mm-hmm.
that you see the Hulk, that was his character development and his story.
Mm-hmm.
So, and which really was culminated in Thor Ragnarok. And like I said, well, culminating in Thor Ragnarok, with they pretty much bringing in Planet Hulk. And then, of course,
Mm-hmm.
in Endgame, when they brought everything together, which really sucks. So,
Exactly.
with that, with the live action, um, yeah, um, I just hope that they make that dynamic more fruitful. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's because it should be not a coming of age story, but it should be the hero's journey where you're have this happen to you, and then around you go, and then you answer the call at the end. Now,
Mm-hmm.
video games is going to be quick.
Yeah, like just because you can't really do a She-Hulk video game per se.
Yeah,
Like she's meant to be a side thing, a side
yeah,
character most
yeah.
of the time.
It's a side character. Like I'm
Hmm.
Hulk move.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, I just like I would love to have her in a group setting.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Um,
yeah.
like I liked her in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Mm-hmm. I liked her in Marvel Ultimate Alliance and everything. She wasn't
Yeah,
bad there.
yeah, like any group gaming things of that nature, she's good in. You
Mm-hmm.
there's not enough story for her to be a main character. For her to have
Yeah.
her own storyline. So if they were to make a Fantastic Four game, I would love for her to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Avengers game, which of course she's about to come out in the Avengers game.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
so things like that, perfect. And then of course, with live action, there comes the MCU, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure that we've already seen Phase 5,
Mm-hmm.
and we've seen Phase 6. So pretty much, I'm I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that in Secret Wars, A Force is coming.
I mean, see what I'm getting from their Secret Wars and everything. I have no idea if they'll go the Beyonder route. I don't know for sure. It's most likely with like if anybody's seen Love and Thunder, like we do get introduced to a certain aspect in the Marvel universe that does appear
Yeah,
that leads me to believe we might get something with greater beings, possibly the Beyonders. Maybe if we get Battle World, that will be interesting.
yeah. If we get Battle World now, see that's like you said, that's the thing. Like Battle World, of course, comes from Secret Wars of 2015, where
Mm-hmm.
Doom kills Doom, Molecule Man, they go and they hatch a plan to kill all of the Beyonders. Doom, of course, takes the powers, creates Battle World from all the incursions that were happening, of course, which is the incursions that were mentioned in Multiverse of Madness. Now the original Secret Wars back in the mid 80s was no wait, was that the original one with the
with the
black suit?
Beyonders show
Yeah.
with the black suit Spider-Man, yes, where
Okay.
it first appeared. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the original Secret Wars was just a singular Beyonder gathering all of the heroes from all particular walks of life and said, I just want to see y'all fight. Because I'm bored.
Yep. Literally a cosmic being playing with people like they're toys. It's pretty much how you describe it.
Yeah. So yeah, he was just like, oh yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna go that route. More than like that route would be kind of silly. So
because we already had Civil War and a bunch of other things with heroes fighting each other. So
yeah. So yeah. So I think more than likely they are gonna go, especially since you're about to introduce Doctor Doom. You're pretty much, and the Fantastic Four is coming afterwards, which
that is weird.
Now that I think about that, how the hell?
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
We'll get there when we get there. The journey will be long.
Yeah, the journey is definitely long, especially since the Fantastic Four is 2 years away. But yeah, as far as the MCU goes, I'm sure she'll show up in the Secret Wars. Like I said, I think A-Force is coming. For you, those of you that don't know about A-Force is the all-female Avengers team that was on Battle World when Secret Wars happened. It was literally an all-female Avengers team, brought together by a cosmic being named Singularity, who shows up later, and after an all new, all different Marvel. And
we actually see her in like I think it was the latest Captain Marvel series when she was going around picking up the Avengers and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's still around.
But yeah, no, it was just a all-female Avengers team, and it was one of the best stories out of Secret Wars. Tie-ins.
Yeah. Like seriously. Battle World was mostly known for their tie-ins because you had the Old Man Logan story that really popped off. You had the freaking Renew Your Vows story that popped off. There was Ghost Racers, and that was crazy.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. But yeah. Oh God, not the Renew Your Vows crap. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
it's God. What we all want. It's what we all want. It's what we need as fans.
Oh God, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in another video. No. And animation goes, I liked her in Agents of Smash. I liked her in the Fantastic Four. She's like She-Hulk has the personality of a main character, but she don't really fit nowhere.
And that's a problem. She can't really. We don't know for sure she can hold her own story. Like, especially if it's an animated series, it's a possibility if written well enough.
Yeah, the problem with She-Hulk is just like a problem with a lot of the Bat family and the Spider-Man family and all of these groups with legacy characters. You end up just taking on the legacy villains, and you don't really have villains of your own, like I said, except for Titania.
Yeah.
And they're becoming friends now. So
exactly. That's literally her sparring buddy.
Yeah. So that's why I say it's more so of, if you want her to have her own story, have her, of course, do the attorney thing, but then also be the magistrate. Because you can then don't have to have her be around the Hulk. She does her own thing. And, she'll come back to Earth if something needs, saving. But other than that, yeah, like gotta have her develop on her own for me to be able to change the two about animation and video games. Which actually, now that I think about it, you actually can make a video game with her, but it has to deal with the attorney stuff. It has to. It cannot be It can't be
You
anything
thinking something like a Phoenix Wright kind of game going on?
or LA Noir almost. Almost in that ends. LA Noir or Phoenix Wright. Yeah, to where you got to gather evidence and you can do fun stuff with She-Hulk, breaking the fourth wall, things of that nature. So yeah, actually, yeah, never mind. Yeah, I just figured out a way for She-Hulk to have her own game. And it would actually be interesting.
Yeah, it would be something different.
So yeah. Let's see. So yeah. And I just want to make sure I had all that. So
yeah, I think we covered our bases.
Yeah. So that is how we would handle She-Hulk. Appreciate. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, this will be shown not only on the Nerds of Combat, but this will also be shown on my own personal channel, Magic's Corner. You can get through anything as long as you have a little magic in your corner. And I hope you have a good day.